Have you ever wondered what it truly means to invite something sinister into your life? Some doors, once opened, can never be closed. I never thought of myself as superstitious. Ghost stories, haunted houses, cursed objects, just harmless tales, right? I was wrong. Dead wrong. It all began with a box. One cold November morning, I found a plain, unmarked package sitting on my doorstep. No return address, no note. Just my name, scrawled in an elegant, unfamiliar script. My first thought? It must have been delivered by mistake. But curiosity won over reason. I brought it inside, placed it on my kitchen table, and unwrapped it. Inside was a doll. Not the playful kind you'd see in a toy store. No, this was different. Its cracked porcelain face looked hastily repaired. The glassy, unnatural blue eyes seemed to follow my every move. Dressed in a faded Victorian gown, tattered at the hem, the doll clutched a threadbare teddy bear missing an eye. Something about it felt wrong. A chill crawled down my spine, but I shook it off. I placed the doll on a shelf in my living room. Big mistake. That night, I woke to footsteps. At first, I thought it was just the old wooden floors creaking, but the sound was deliberate, rhythmic, approaching my bedroom. My heart pounded as I reached for my phone. Before I could call for help, the footsteps stopped. Silence. Summoning every ounce of courage, I checked the locks. Everything was secure. No sign of a break-in. But the next morning, the doll wasn't on the shelf where I left it. It sat on my coffee table, its lifeless eyes fixed on me. My stomach churned. Had I moved it and forgotten? I convinced myself I had. That night, the footsteps returned. Louder this time, accompanied by whispers. Indistinct, but haunting. I stayed frozen in bed, clutching the covers. And just as suddenly as they started, they stopped. Morning brought another shock. The doll was on the floor, its head tilted toward the doorway. I decided to get rid of it. I packed it up, drove to a thrift store, and handed it over to the confused clerk. For the first time in days, I slept peacefully, but my relief was short-lived. The next morning, the doll was back, waiting on my kitchen table. Panic gripped me. How could this be happening? I drove to the edge of town, hurled the doll into a landfill, and sped away. But when I returned, there it was again, perched on my front porch. It was no longer just a doll. It was alive. Desperation led me to research. I posted photos on forums, pleading for answers. One anonymous message stood out. Burn it. It's not just a doll. So I tried. I gathered salt, candles, and the box it came in, following an occult ritual I found online. Surrounded by flickering candlelight, I chanted, willing whatever force inhabited the doll to leave. The whispers grew louder, the room colder. The doll's head turned, its glassy eyes locking onto mine. You cannot escape me, a guttural voice hissed. The candles extinguished, and the doll vanished. But I wasn't alone. Shadows in the room coalesced into a towering, faceless figure. Its void-like face loomed closer, its voice echoing in my mind. You belong to me now. The world shattered. I woke up to my doorbell ringing. On my doorstep was another package. My name was written in the same elegant handwriting. Inside was the doll. If you were in my shoes, what would you do? Would you fight to uncover the truth, or run while you still could? Let me know in the comments below.